So this is a good video. This is where we helped raise £1.2 million for the expansion of Junction 4 Skatepark.
Junction 4 is in Blackburn, Darwen.
The smallest skatepark in the UK about 18 months ago.
It's just off Junction 4 on the M65.
Where people not like me, much younger, fitter, can come and do skateboarding, BMXing and scootering.
We opened Junction 4 Skatepark CIC in 2017.
Well, Anthony had said, I wish we could have the land at the back because we could do something with that sort of open air so that when we go quieter in the sunshiny weather, we'd have a place for people to come.
One thing we were unsure about how to do was raise funding. So we took some advice from Amanda Meachin at Community and Business Partners.
And I said, I've no idea what skate parks are, but I do know how to run a not-for-profit company, and there were lots of influential people in and around Blackburn with Darwen, and a lot of what I did initially was to introduce them to those people.
I was curious about it because I'd heard lots of things about the skate park, some good and some indifferent, so I wanted to find out for myself what it was. At the same time, we're thinking about a new plan for Darwen, and we're looking for sort of like innovation, things with potential, things that sort of were different to what we normally do.
So Martin came out and we stood on the car park and he was looking at the land behind us and he was saying, that bit actually belongs to the council. So Anthony's like, does it? His little eyes lit up, does it? Is there a possibility we could do something with it? So Martin said, well, I'll go and find out.
We had forwarded the designs for the whole site to Simon at Yes, My Lord.
So Anthony's brief was to re-visualise his plans in 3D. This was to show the investors what a skate park actually was, what container park was, how the ramps would look, the dirt jumps and the pump tracks.
Most people don't know what a skate park is, including me. So when you saw the graphics and you could follow it through and look at all the areas, it brought it to life really easy.
You could see every element of the skate park to get a feeling of how it would work and how it would walk around and how it would ride.
When Anthony first sent us the concept, I was like, whoa! All right, I wasn't expecting it to look like this. It was a lot more impressive than I thought.
Other people we got involved and spoke to were Declan Bucks and Charlotte. When you go to major competitions, there's very few parks in the country that have ramps that size, so we needed to go in a different direction to make that work.
So some of the 3D graphics were reworked to incorporate the feedback from the Olympic team.
Slowly that design evolved into pretty much what we've got now.
So then Martin Kelly ran back and asked what we could do with £250,000 from the Darwen Town deal. We already knew that we needed match funding to access British Cycling funding, and all of a sudden we had it.
We're very lucky to be able to capital fund projects and to help bring them to reality.
But British Cycling's funding came with some requirements of their own. So once again, we redesigned certain areas to accommodate them.
We'd submitted the designs and we were talking to the planning permission department about what we were going to do. One of the concerns that was raised from it was there may be a noise issue. So they suggested to make the containers 2 high instead of 1. To which we were like, okay then, yeah, let's do this. It made it better. We then had a viewing area and an area for a bar and a conferencing area, but it means that parents can now sit and watch everything that's going on in the whole of the site. Everybody can see everything that happens. So the funding was in place, the designs were in place, planning permission had been passed. All we had to do now was build it. The first spade went in, we had to strip all the land back, get rid of hundreds of lorry loads of dirt to get it down to the right sizes and form.
The excavation of the land, what you see there was a good sort of 1.5 to 2 meters higher than that.
Once the levels were down, we started building the concrete skate park. We went for one of the best companies in Europe to build one of the best concrete street sections that we've got in the UK. Containers. Wow, this was interesting. So when we started building, each container was worth about £1,000, and due to COVID, Brexit and a few other things, they soon started to go up in price very, very quickly. So they went from £1,000 to £1,500, £2,000, and eventually we ended up paying £4,000 for some of our containers. And then we ran into another problem. Some of the land that we were going to put some of the dirt jumps onto wasn't available anymore, and this would cause us a major problem, as if we couldn't supply the dirt jumps, we would lose some funding, and that would make the project unviable. We had just over an acre of land right next to us, which was owned by another business.
But the new piece of land was going to cost quite a lot more money. Junction 4 had already been given £500,000. Anthony now had to go back and ask for some more. So in order to persuade them, we redesigned this whole area and really pushed the boundaries of what was on offer. We then presented it inside virtual reality.
Junction for Urban Sports Village 3.0, which will include a building for foam pits and resi, so people could come and train, another retail village area, so skate shops, bike shops, and then we want to put a competition standard bowl with seating areas around it so we can have large-scale competitions. You know, there's not many venues in the UK, if any, that have seating to hold more than a few hundred people, and we would like to have seating for 1,000 people.
And I think that's one of the great things about Anthony's vision here, is that he's constantly looking to improve.
If you check out the virtual reality, you'll be able to see exactly what the next plans are. You get a real sense of depth when you look over the edge of the ramps and stuff. You can almost sit on this bench that's here. So that really helps kind of show the idea and sell the idea as well.
I thought VR was brilliant. It's the first time I've ever had that opportunity. It brings the whole project to life, and you sort of find yourself almost moving as if you're on a bike or on a skateboard as you drop into the bowl. It's a completely different and far more immersive way of telling the story than simply a plan on a page.
Well, I literally went into the dome, went up the sides, the scariness of getting to the edge because you thought you were literally going to fall off. I can see the overall shape and the design, so you get a real feel for it, better than any drawings.
So all of a sudden we've gone from 250,000 to 500,000 to 700,000 to 800,000, and all of a sudden we had £1.2 million. £1.2 million.
There's obviously a huge amount of funding that Ants had to get to just make this a reality, and having that modern concept of 3D and virtual reality has massively helped with that side of the project.
So phase one consists of a concrete skate park, a wooden Olympic standard skate park, pump tracks, dirt jumps, viewing area, and a bar stroke conferencing room.
The immediacy of it, how close are you to the action? How good's that? Seeing world-class performers 10 feet away.
Like Anthony said, I want to create a village with a real urban feel to it, and he's done it, and I'm incredibly proud of them both. Really proud of them both.
I've watched this from the very inception when he first applied for the money, and we've talked all of it through, and I've been regular on site to see the development. So well done, all his team, fantastic, and I'm sure it'll be a magnificent success.
We've taken something from nothing to creating a £1.2 million BMX skate, inline skate, scooter venue. The like that haven't been seen in the UK.
If you're an elite athlete and you've got dreams of getting to the top of your sport, this would be one of the places you would come and train. But it definitely at the beginning was a rather low-key affair that was more like a place to go for something to do than now it can be a place to go for something to achieve.
So the Junction for Urban Sports Village was a complete success. If you think you could use some help from Yes My Lord on an animation, 3D graphics, virtual reality, or even a video, then please get in touch. We'd be really happy to help.